How to support a friend who lives with inflammatory bowel disease. Today marks the start of Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week, a week completely dedicated to shedding light on and breaking the stigma around inflammatory bowel disease. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, a form of inflammatory bowel disease, almost 3 years ago. Since this diagnosis, I have undergone multiple surgeries, I have lived with debilitating symptoms, and unfortunately, I have had to deal with people who simply do not understand the disease, which has left me feeling alone and at times, embarrassed. According to the NHS, inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, is a term mainly used to describe two conditions, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease are long-term conditions that involve inflammation of the gut. While ulcerative colitis targets mainly the large intestine and rectum, inflammation can affect the entire digestive tract in Crohn's disease. Symptoms include stomach cramps, rectal bleeding, severe fatigue, aching joints, and if left long enough, the gut can become so badly inflamed that surgery to remove some or all of the bowel is required. In all honesty, my life, and the lives of other sufferers of the disease, could be made a lot easier if people just attempted to have an understanding of it. To understand that it is debilitating, that it is serious and that it is more than a toilet illness. Woman with facial birthmark is going viral for her inspirational body positivity. 5 journals and planners to get your super organized friend this Christmas. People who eat 40 grams of cheese a day might be less likely to have a heart attack. So, in light of this Awareness Week, here are 8 things you can do to support a person living with inflammatory bowel disease. It sounds simple, but to support someone with IBD, you need to know more about it. It only takes a quick Google search to learn the basics and to see that IBD is more than just urgently needing the toilet. While educating you, this will in turn help you grasp a better understanding of the illness, which will help you empathize with the sufferer as well as being able to offer actual, helpful advice. One of the most annoying things when living with IBD is the amount of fad diet sellers who try to fob you off with 2-second remedies to cure your I.B.D. There is no cure for IBD. It is a chronic illness, it's lifelong. The only attempt at a cure is by removing the affected area, though even with this, symptoms can persist and other parts of the digestive system can still be targeted. There is no one-size-fits-all solution for IBD. What works for some won't work for others. Going for a run, drinking water and eating vegetables is not going to cure IBD. For some, this sort of lifestyle can help put a person into remission. For others, this sort of diet will only aggravate the condition further. Hear a person out, and learn a little about their symptoms before making uneducated suggestions. As mentioned above, IBD can affect every person differently. For some, symptoms may be easily eased, while others are left bedbound for days on end. I've lost count of the amount of times I've heard, "Well, my friends, brothers, girlfriend's mom has this," when I've told someone I'm not feeling well. It's not helpful at all. Many sufferers already struggle to feel as though they're being believed, having to justify their illness and prove they're sick. These sort of comments only worsen these feelings. IBD is unpredictable. You can go from feeling totally okay to feeling absolutely awful in a blink of an eye. This often means that sufferers are forced to cancel plans they made when they felt well at the time. Please, be understanding. It simply cannot be helped. Don't be that person who gets angry when your IBD suffering friend can't make it. It can be annoying when you've really been looking forward to something, but it's likely your friend already feels bad enough about having to cancel. They'll feel as though they've really let you down, and this is a frequent occurrence with IBD. Don't make the situation worse by acting as though they can do anything about it. You'd think this is a simple one, but often people don't realize how humiliated they can leave an IBD sufferer feeling. Often, we need to use the disabled toilets. This is because we need extra privacy. Not just this, but we need a larger space, and a more sterile environment, as many people living with the illness have to apply creams, use steroids and inject themselves with medication on a daily basis. People who've just had surgery also need extra support. Those who live with stoma bags due to the illness may need the toilets to change it. Countless times I have left the disabled toilets only to be humiliated. People have looked at me in disgust, as though I shouldn't be using them. I have even been confronted on this matter, having been told I am an awful person for using the toilets when there's people who really need them. What they mean by this is that only people with a physical illness should be using these toilets. This is not the case. IBD is a struggle. It can be debilitating. Not only for your physical health but for your mental, too. It can leave you feeling isolated and alone, as though nobody understands, or even worse, that nobody wants to be there for your friend when they need you. You don't even need to say anything, just listen. Let them vent. Let them talk to you about how the illness makes them feel. Not only will this help you understand, but it'll prove to your friend that you are willing to learn. That you don't doubt them, and that they can trust you to be there when they've nowhere else to turn. 8 ways to look after your IBD this Christmas. Meet the woman who lost 7 st after failing to recognize herself in photos. 8-week-old baby born with half a heart has successful transplant. Be there to support them. Not just by listening, but through any means possible. If they can't make a night out, why not pop over with a movie and some ice cream and have a night in? Make them feel better by showing you they haven't let you down. Visit them in hospital when things get bad, to show them that they don't need to go through it alone. Join in when they use social media to spread awareness of the disease, to show you'll support them through any means possible. Stand up for them when others don't understand the disease and therefore attempt to belittle them. But most importantly, just stand by them. That's all someone living with IBD asks for. More, to all the people living with inflammatory bowel disease, you are not a burden. More, having a chronic illness doesn't mean I can't have a life.